All right, folks, thanks for joining. Today we have another review of another full-size truck. This time it's the Ford F-150, the most sold truck in history. Might even be, I believe it's still the most sold vehicle in history, but I could be wrong on that one. This is an 2023 XLT with the 5-liter V8, so that's 400 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque in that awesome V8 rumble. It was really cool because when you're idling in low RPM, it's so quiet you can hardly tell what's in it. But once you get on it, it really opens up and makes some good noise. I drove it about 4 hours today, mostly on the highway, and it's very comfortable. It's plenty of power, and I was getting roughly 22 miles to the gallon, and I wasn't being conservative with the fuel. It does have the 10-speed automatic transmission, so when you're cruising on the highway, it's running at like 1,300 RPM with that big V8, which is pretty cool. That's kind of how it's getting those fuel economy numbers. This is a 4-wheel drive with a low range version, and the XLT is a couple models up from the bottom, which is your XL model. They have a new model version in between those for 2023. But the XLT, decent amount of kit. The interior is a little bit nicer, a little bit different exterior accents from the XL, the base model. The Ford lineup comes with so many different options it can get a little confusing. You've got multiple versions of the twin turbo V6s, the 2.7, the 3.5. You can get the 5-liter V8. I mean, it just gets a little crazy. And then you go into packages and you've got the XL, the XLT, the King Lariat, the Platinum. I mean, there's so many. You almost have to sit down and read the list. Maybe I'll post a link to a list in the bottom of this video. But we're going to do a little reviews and a little walk around. Just join me if you're interested, and we'll go over the 2023 F-150 XLT. This being one of the more base models, the interior wasn't anything super special, but it is a little nicer than the entry-level vehicles, and this was nicer than I think what was in the Ram Classic that I reviewed here recently. It does have a little bit bigger screen and some nicer buttons on it. So there's tons of room in the back of these F-150s. I mean, I'm 6 foot, and I can kind of sprawl out here. I do ride with my seat pretty close to the steering wheel, closer than the average person. This is probably more common, but still plenty of room. The seats are nice and soft and comfortable. And then you've got a USB-C and a USB power port down here with some cup holders. And then, of course, oh, about took out my knee there on the door. You can fold the seats up, and you got a ton of storage space. You know, there's probably more storage space if you fold these seats up than there is in the back of like a RAV4 or something. If you stacked it up, tons of space. Plus, you got a bed if you really want to throw some things in there. So the last time I drove an F-150, I was in New Jersey, and I did not like it. The ride was so rough. Now, New Jersey roads are pretty bad, so that could have had something to do with it. But, I mean, it was just rough, bone-jarringly rough, I thought. This one seemed fine on the way up here, but this highway is a lot smoother than a lot of the roads in New Jersey. But, I mean, that was 5 or 6 years ago, probably, the last time I was in one. So this is definitely a big improvement on ride from the one that I was driving. I don't remember what model it was. I just remember it had the twin turbo V6 and the 10-speed transmission in it, which I thought was cool. Some of those options actually have more power than this V8. So for this year, you can see that there are 8 different packages of the F-150. So there are so many different options, it gets confusing. The first package on the list is the XL 150, which is your entry-level model. It starts at $33,695. And you can add some things to this. Your base truck comes with the 3.3-liter V6 engine, which has 290 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. And you can add some of the safety features like Ford Copilot 360. It comes with Ford Sync, which is their smart display technology that allows you to connect to your phone. It has stability and roll control, so it comes, with some features on it. The next one up on the list is the XLT, which is the one that I drove. They start at It still has that base engine, but obviously you can opt up to the V8, which is what's in the package that I'm driving. And then the next one up on your list is the Lariat. That starts at $57,480. This has got leather trimmed captain's chairs and leather wrapped interior amenities. So we're getting into the Luxo barge segment here again. It's got a 12-inch screen, different zone lighting. This comes with the 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6. So this is the turbocharged motor, and this has 325 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. So that nice big 12-inch screen I really like, and same with the productivity screen, which is basically where your dashboard is now. I didn't get to play with those, but trucks these days are getting so fancy, you almost don't want to do truck things with them. This is the King Ranch, which starts at $63,005, which has fancier leather. It's got wood trim accents and the Kingsville stitching all over it. This comes standard with the 5-liter V8, so we're just going up in options. You've got a Bang & Olufsen sound system, which I've heard some Bang & Olufsen speakers. They are very nice. Leather heated steering wheel, and you can go through and look at all the things that are in this package. We are not going to go through all that today because we'll be here all day. And then you go up to the Platinum, so we're going up in features, $64,695. It has an 18-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. You got 20-inch wheels. This comes with the 2-speed transfer case if you get 4x4, which honestly most of the 4-wheel drive versions, if not all of them, come with a 2-speed transfer case if they have 4-wheel drive. Although that one Chevy I had, I don't think it had a low range, which was bizarre. And then we go up to the Limited, so this is like the top of the line luxury kind. $84,000. I paid $85,000 for my first house, so we're talking house money here. Granted, that was a while ago. But, you know, leather seats and all the amenities, your same sound system. It's got a scale on the hitch to tell you how much weight you're carrying, so you'll know if you're overloaded. This comes with the 3.5 EcoBoost, which is 400 horsepower, so similar to the 5-liter V8, but it has 500 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty wild. And then you get into, there's like 2 off-road packages. There's the Tremor, which is what we're looking at here, and it's kind of the entry off-road level. These start at $60,000. They come with a 3.5 liter EcoBoost. They come with all-terrain tires, and they're basically kind of designed around tough towing and payload. So the suspension's not going to be as soft on this as it is on like the Raptor, which won't tow as much. And then, of course, your top of the line is the Raptor, one of the baddest trucks out there. So they start at $76,000, and I think they come with that twin-turbo V6 on here. They don't... Yep, the 3.5 twin-turbo high-output V6. And then it's got the special suspension. It's got long travel suspension that's real soft for the off-road and stuff. I mean, you can really hit the trails hard with this machine. It's got Fox Racing shocks with live valve technology, so these things are pretty awesome off-road. So that's kind of a rundown of what Ford offers. Like I said, they have so many packages and so many options. I mean, we didn't even get down in here to packages that come with these pre-built packages and things that you can add. So there's even more that you could add. You could probably option one of these out, getting close to $100,000. So that's the Ford F-150 series. Let's give you a little taste of what that sounds like. Noise, but it'll get up and go. It's got the 10-speed automatic transmission in it. It's a quad cab, so tons of space in the back, and I am, funny enough, on the exact same highway that I tested the last 2 full-size trucks in Ohio, which is, you know, flat cornfields, pretty boring, unless the sun's setting. And here's what the 5-liter V8 sounds like from the tailpipe. The F-150s aren't my favorite looking truck, but they're not bad. I prefer the look of like the Ram Rebels or the Nissan Titans. But I did enjoy driving this more than I did the base Ram that I had recently. And I enjoyed this engine more than the V6 in the base Ram or the 4-cylinder in the Chevy. But I thought the Chevy looked better than this one. As I mentioned earlier, this isn't the most powerful engine in the lineup. One of the twin-turbo V6s has a lot more power. However, I have heard that there have been issues with turbos on some of those models. I don't know if that's been resolved in the newer ones, but those are an expensive fix. But overall, I enjoy driving this 2023 F-150 with the 5-liter V8, and hopefully you found this helpful. We'll see you next time.